Imagine a city where basketball isn't just a game, it's a religion. Chicago, a city of dreams and struggles, had found its new hope in a young point guard named Derrick Rose. From the streets of Englewood to the bright lights of the United Center, Derrick's journey was nothing short of extraordinary. He wasn't just fast, he was explosive. He didn't just play smart, he rewrote the rules of what a 22-year-old could do on the court. Every crossover, every drive, every jump shot left defenders frozen, and fans in awe. But it wasn't just his talent that made him special, it was his heart. Derrick carried the weight of a city that had suffered through decades of near misses, heartbreaks, and broken dreams. Every game was more than a match. It was a chance to inspire, to lift spirits, to make history. Coaches, teammates, even rival fans couldn't ignore him. His name was whispered everywhere, from gymnasiums to ESPN commentary, from street courts to national headlines. Yet behind the explosive dunks and highlight reels, Derrick's story was just beginning, because destiny often comes with tests, and the brightest stars sometimes face the darkest shadows before their rise is complete. Winning the MVP was supposed to be the pinnacle of Derrick Rose's young career, a dream realized, a reward for years of hard work and sacrifice. But with the crown came a weight heavier than any defender he had faced. Chicago, a city hungry for greatness, watched his every move with eagle eyes. Every pass, every shot, every mistake was analyzed, debated, and dissected. Fans celebrated him, but they also demanded perfection. Analysts questioned his choices. Teammates leaned on him, expecting him to carry them through impossible games. At just 22 years old, Derrick felt the pressure of not just being a player, but the symbol of a city's hope. Every time he stepped onto the court, it wasn't only about scoring points, it was about proving that he deserved this spotlight, that he could lead, that he could inspire. Behind the smiles and highlight reels, there were moments of doubt, exhaustion, and invisible strain. Yet, every game, Derrick ran faster, jumped higher, and played smarter, trying to live up to the legend people had already created. But destiny has a way of testing even the most gifted, and sometimes, the brightest stars face challenges that no talent, speed, or skill can overcome. For Derrick, that test was only just beginning. April 2012. It was a night like any other on the court. But for Derrick Rose, nothing would ever be the same again. The arena buzzed with excitement, fans chanting, cameras flashing, unaware that history and heartbreak was about to unfold. Derrick had played countless games with fire and determination, but this night held a weight that no athlete could predict. One sudden movement, one twist, one misstep, and a sound echoed that would haunt the NBA forever. His knee, pop, pain surged, sharp and unforgiving, coursing through his body like lightning. The MVP, the hero of Chicago, the rising star, suddenly vulnerable, fragile, human. The crowd gasped, teammates froze. Derrick fell, not just to the floor, but into a moment that would redefine his career. It wasn't only the physical pain that struck him, it was the crushing weight of what could be lost. The dreams of a city, the hopes of millions of fans, the momentum of a young superstar, everything felt suspended in that single moment. Yet, even in agony, Derrick's eyes burned with determination. He wasn't done. This night, though dark, would become the turning point, the defining test of his spirit, resilience, and the man he would ultimately become. The doctors said it was over. Critics said he would never be the same. Even some teammates whispered doubts. But Derrick Rose wasn't just an athlete, he was a fighter, a warrior, a symbol of hope for a city that had already believed in him. Every day after the injury became a battle, not just against pain, but against the doubt that tried to consume him. Early mornings in the rehab center, grueling exercises, endless ice baths, and every step forward felt like climbing a mountain. Yet Derrick refused to stop. Each setback tested his patience. Every small progress was celebrated like a victory. The world watched highlights of his past brilliance, comparing every return to the legend he once was. But Derrick understood something few could grasp. Greatness isn't measured only in points or trophies, it's measured in courage, in the ability to rise when everything seems broken. With every painful movement, Derrick rebuilt not just his body, but his spirit. The league doubted him, the critics doubted him, even his own mind questioned him, but Derrick Rose knew one truth: he had not yet finished writing his story. The comeback wasn't just about basketball, it was about proving that resilience, heart, and determination could defy fate itself. Even as Derrick Rose fought to return to the court, the shadow of what might have been loomed over every game. Fans watched highlights of his past brilliance and whispered the unspoken question: what if he had never been injured? What if he had another 5 MVP seasons? What if he had fulfilled the destiny that seemed written in every crossover, every dunk, every clutch shot? The NBA continued without him at full strength, but Derrick's story became a legend of resilience. Every comeback attempt, every game played after the injury carried the weight of lost potential, yet also the inspiration of persistence. Analysts debated endlessly, comparing him to what could have been, while he continued to give his all, not for accolades, not for recognition, but for the love of the game and the city that never stopped believing in him. Behind every smile, every highlight, there were countless hours of struggle, pain, and determination. Derrick Rose may not have returned as the unstoppable MVP he once was, but he became something more, a symbol of courage and unwavering spirit. In the shadows of missed opportunities, his light still shone, proving that true greatness is not only in victories, but in the will to rise again. Derrick Rose's career was never the same after that fateful night, but his story went far beyond points, rebounds, and MVP awards. He became a symbol of resilience, of courage, of the relentless human spirit that refuses to be defeated. Every fan who watched him rise, fall, and fight back witnessed more than basketball. They witnessed a life lesson in determination and hope. The court may have changed, the stats may have shifted, but Derrick's impact remained undeniable. He inspired a generation to dream bigger, to push harder, and to never let setbacks define them. Even when the stadium lights dimmed, even when the cameras stopped rolling, Derrick Rose's story echoed through the hearts of those who believed that greatness isn't only measured in championships, it's measured in the battles fought, the injuries endured, and the courage to stand tall in the face of adversity. His journey reminds us that life is unpredictable, that a single moment can alter everything, yet the human spirit can rise above any challenge. Derrick Rose didn't just play basketball, he redefined what it means to persevere, to inspire, and to fight beyond the game. And in that struggle, he became immortal, a legend not just for the sport, but for life itself.